Hello everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Boomy Reactions. I am Boomy. Hello. And today I'm going to be reacting to Ren's Seven Sins, as requested by quite a few of you. So confession time. I have a little bit of intel going into this song about what it's about. I'm not going in blind. So while I was searching for this song and what songs to react to next, this one was flagged up as a fan favorite. A lot of your renegades really relate to this song because it is in regards to Ren's pain, in particular the pain that he has been going through for what must span more than a decade by now, surely. For anyone who isn't aware, years ago, Ren became unwell and was misdiagnosed for Lyme's disease. He was given treatment for different forms of psychiatric disorders, such as bipolar and depression in particular, I think. He then did get his diagnosis for Lyme's disease, but at this point, he's already been experiencing quite a lot of symptoms of what I would say was long Lyme's disease, like long-term damage from Lyme disease. So obviously this has been spanning quite a long time. To have these very painful symptoms for such a long time must be agonizing. And of course, in the process, you're not getting diagnosed correctly. You're undergoing failed treatments. And what I can only imagine was such an ordeal that Ren had to go through. So yes, this song I believe is quite another one that's quite special to Ren, as it does document his feelings over the years. So I do know that going forward. So let's just jump straight in. Let's have a listen. It's Welsh! Yes, Ren! Six there. Oh, okay.
I lay broken on the kitchen floor. I clawed at the laminate. Pain wandered my body, an uninvited guest. Bones of a home where the devil could rest. I cursed the gods, cursed my messiah, cursed my maker. I cursed all of creation. There I lay, feeble and thin. Sick boy, seven my sin. Have you ever felt pain? Stomach wrenching.
Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Ren. Just quickly, so what an introduction. That was in Welsh. Amazing. I think this might actually be the first time that I've actually heard Ren sing in Welsh, or even say anything in Welsh. So that's pretty cool. Now, I speak very little Welsh. Greetings and a few words I've picked up. It's not very many at all. So I have no idea what that actually meant. It did sound heavy, obviously, given the nature of this song. So if anybody could offer a translation in the comments below, that would be fantastic. But yeah, that's cool. The beat, the strings, I'm assuming they're violins. That's cool. That sounds quite threatening, actually, doesn't it? It sounds really serious. It really gets the adrenaline going there. Um, so yeah, I liked that intro. Uh, I was expecting quite a heavy and a sad song from this one. Obviously, we've got, what was the lyric? Bones were a home where the devil could rest. And that struck me as quite sad. Um, so the bones where the devil could rest. Obviously, his Lyme's disease affected his bones. I believe that was one of the major symptoms. It makes your bones feel very achy, very heavy, which is awful. So this lyric, I mean, did Ren start to believe maybe that his illness was a punishment? You know, that his bones were so feeling so achy that it was somewhere that the devil could rest. That's how I'm kind of interpreting that lyric, which is oh, very, very sad.
Sick boy, 7
Sick boy.
Have you ever felt pain? Stomach wrenching, unrelenting. Tell me, have you ever felt pain? Condescending, muscles clenching. Tell me, have you ever felt pain? A rose emerges from the pavement cracks. They'll write my eulogy with broken glass. Eternal parallax.
Pain.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, there's another one right there. So that was a very graphic visual. So the hands writing his eulogy in the glass. So yeah, I am envisaging bleeding hands in agony writing his eulogy. Again, just conjures up the idea of pain. And then we do have, by contrast, the following line, which says, it talks about the rose growing through the cracks in the pavement, which is quite a beautiful image, really. But interesting that he chose a rose. I'm sure it's no accident because roses, as beautiful as they are, they have thorns. So even though we do have this beautiful imagery, it's again, it's all the time. It's that reference to pain. I also feel like there's a contrast to light and dark, beauty, pain, which Ren quite often uses these contrasts in a lot of his songs, like Sick Boy, when we have the message of there is always light to be found in the darkest of places, finding that positivity or that beauty in the darkest of places, pain. Yeah, some very impactful lyrics here.
Cracks, they'll write my eulogy with broken glass. Eternal parallax.
Pain.
Pain the author, I accept this. Pain the teacher, bruised apprentice. Pain resisting, pain will come. Pain the mother, I'm the son. Pain that splits you, and too many hits you. The dark and the light will converge to one. Pain that twists you, the heavens dismiss you. The Father, the Ghost, and the Holy Son. Body bagging me. Zip it up quick, get their things on B. I search for peace in the belly of a beast. Sick boy, onomatopoeia. Running up a fever, following a leader. Wanna be me, huh? Grass isn't greener. Bright lights, seizure.
There's a few things to note there. I like that reference to the grass isn't always greener. Do you want to be me? Well, the grass is never greener. I like that. That is there like a like a seven sin reference there? The grass is never greener. When I think of that, I think of like envy, maybe. As we began again, that line, the pain is the author, and I accept this. Ooh, that stayed with me, that one. So pain is the author. When you think of an author, that's like a creator. Do you think maybe in this state of agony, what I imagine was agony at times, Ren eventually started to believe that he was just created to experience this suffering and this pain, which is such a sad, sad idea, isn't it? And not only that, but he's just accepted it. Like he has just accepted he's been, he's been created, he's been put on this earth, and this is his life. Because understandably, there mustn't be any respite from this pain. There mustn't be a break. And so you're almost defined by your suffering and your pain, which is awful. Like, can you even imagine? Pain that twists you, that the heavens dismiss you. I think I might be rephrasing that lyric. Sorry there. Um, I'm enjoying the religious references here. So again, is it such that in this state, when, like I say, you must be kind of feeling that you're defined by your pain, but you're so desperate for relief that maybe you quite often resort to praying, or almost kind of bartering or dealing with your deity, whichever deity it is that you believe in. And even though you pray and you try and converse with the Almighty, nothing ever comes from it. So you're left feeling very much like heaven's turning its backs on you. It's back on you, or maybe that your God is turning its back on you, which is again so sad. I don't really know what Ren's religious beliefs are. I know somebody in the comments, thank you for commenting, you did say in one of the previous videos that you believed he was agnostic. He's said this maybe once or twice, which is interesting, and I don't think I'd expect anything less, to be honest. But he seems like somebody who is so accepting of other people's philosophies and religious beliefs that I'm not surprised, actually. He strikes me very much as someone who sits in the middle, isn't too much either way, and just lets everyone else believe what they will. But yes, I don't know to what extent that I believe these religious references are direct. Like, I think they're more of a metaphor, maybe. Like I say, maybe just because you don't get any respite from the pain, maybe you do start to believe that's it. I'm not having a break. This is my life now. This defines me. So maybe you feel like, maybe not just in religious terms, but maybe Ren felt that doctors maybe had almost given up and just accepted this was how you were going to live from now on, because there's no known treatments, which just sucks. That must be such a horrible, horrible place to be. One of the few lines that was just mentioned just before I paused it here was onomatopoeia. Now, onomatopoeia is, how do I describe it? Like a word that sounds like what it means, and then it's followed by sick boy. And I don't think that's onomatopoeia, but I suppose that depends entirely on how you say it. So maybe the sick boy, no, sick. Maybe it's the hard does sound quite sharp and quite painful, maybe. Okay, yeah, I get it. That could be onomatopoeia. I'm going to carry on.
Following a leader. Wanna be me, huh? Grass isn't greener. Bright light, seizure, dynamite dealer. Dine at the table of the coroner, E-top for 13 years and I've been feeling so stuck. Lucky number 13, just my luck. Empires tumble, rubble and dust. The universe shrinks and the planets combust. In God we trust. God tied a noose to his neck and he walked to the edge and he jumped. Angels wept, I bear witness, watching the whole thing.
There's so many lyrics here. I can't actually keep up with them, even pausing as much as I do. God tied a noose to his neck and watched him jump, or watched him go over the edge, jump over the edge. I forget how he phrased that lyric. Did Ren start to believe that he was just fated to suffer again? Like we were saying, if it is your creator that has inflicted this pain on you, surely that was their plan for you all along. You were just destined to undergo this suffering, which is these lyrics. He's a wordsmith. That's the word. All of his lyrics, he's just a wordsmith. They're like poetry. They just read off the tongue, don't they? 13. At first, I was watching that thinking, 13, 13. What's the significance of 13? So unlucky for some. 13 is 13 years, he said, didn't he? So was that the amount of time that it took to start feeling normal again? If normal is where Ren is at this point, I'm not too sure. 13 years in pain. That is a long time. That must literally feel like you've been in pain for like 3 times that amount of time. I imagine time goes a lot more slowly when you're suffering like this as well. Another lyric which I thought was so profound, I can't remember the exact phrasing of the lyric. Eat at the coroner's table. That's the table of death. Did he say something along the lines of join me at the coroner's table, dine with me at the table of death? I like that. Macabre. But obviously, given the nature of what we're talking about, it fits, doesn't it?
And he walked to the edge and he jumped. Angels wept. I bear witness, watching the whole thing unfold from my bed. A bed where I never deep rest. A bed where I'm always depressed. A bed with the human oppressed. A bed for a tomb where I slept. A bed in the room that's a womb for this mess. Sick boy bitten by a tick boy. Tell me how it feels to be buried while you breathe.
That's a sick lyric. That comparison. He says this bed is the room, but he talks about the room, and he rhymes tomb with womb. What a contrast. So this room that he has been confined to because of his sickness, I think I watched an interview in which he said there was maybe 5 minutes a day where he left his room because his symptoms were so crippling and so debilitating. So that room must have started to feel like, that would drive you crazy, but that room must have started to feel like a tomb, in the sense that he must be in so much pain that he's so convinced this is where he's going to die. And ooh, that's heavy, having to face that idea of your own mortality. Ooh, you just can't imagine, can you? And then to compare the same room to a womb, which you'd think these were 2 opposite things. But when we think about it, maybe the room being a womb, I suppose it's keeping him inside for very, very long lengths of time. So maybe he does get this weird kind of attachment to the room as nurturing, but maybe at the same time, it's creating more symptoms, like it's birthing more symptoms. That's how my crazy little brain is making sense of those lyrics. Let me know what you think. That is, I like that. That's deep.
It's a wound for this mess. Sick boy bitten by a tick boy. Tell me how it feels to be buried while you breathe. Stones and sticks boy, pain is a gift boy. Hard to make a stand when you crawl on your knees and land I kneel at the altar of my own disease and I beg the sky for mercy, mercy never came. Life did me dirty, 33 and hurting, cursing. Jesus died at 33 and still my sins are lurking. Gears are turning, future stays uncertain. Surgeon incision, murder ambition. Fear of the unknown preserves a religion. Denounced the gods when my body went missing. Back then, the pain spray ricochet like a Mac 10. Hot lead hit the bed that was trapped in. Red wings, seraphim out of God's grace. Cried tears from heaven like Clapton. Stick pins in the voodoo Hendrix. Thick skin, stay humble Kendrick. Stay skeptic, check the biometrics. Bloodstain, crime scene, forensic. Lights on, lights out. Fade into the background. So down. Running from the silhouette of self-doubt. By now. Really should have figured this shit out. Lights on, lights out. Smackdown. Let it be. Quote John Lennon. Click clack, John got shot for attention. What does that tell you about the good of intentions? Bitterness formed in a storm of aggression. Prophets get dropped, imagining heaven. Martin Luther, Mahatma, dead. 6-6 followed by 6 and 7. Build 'em, praise 'em, bury 'em, dead. I was born to be half a man with half a chance. My heart isn't half righteous, half is down and half a gram. Half those troubles and thoughts stay darker than a Rukai master plan. Sharper than glass shards, splinter and cinnamon.
Oh my gosh. Guys, did Ren just make a Lord of the Rings reference in the middle of his song that went completely unnoticed? Ulrich High, master plan. Is that what he said? He definitely said Ulrich High. I even read it. Ren, can we be friends? I like Lord of the Rings. Sorry, I'm such a nerd. That's made me happy. So the pacing of the song and just the sound of the song, this has changed. That is it lights out, lights on? I like that. That's just completely changed how you hear the song. Am I going crazy? Or is the beat to which that he raps to, is this changing? Is it mixing up? Like the words that he chooses to rhyme. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I swear it's changing. I'm not crazy. I think it is changing. But yeah, it seems like the flow of this song is changing all the way through. It's transitioning into different elements of the song. We haven't got a very clear verse, chorus pattern either. So I think I'm just assuming that this is just kind of verse. I have no idea where we're up to. But I feel like maybe each verse is different, it's different lyrics, but I feel like it's progressing and it's changing musically as we go along, which is pretty cool. Also, as well, the little reference to the artist. We've got Eric Clapton there. We've got Jimi Hendrix. John Lennon. There was someone else as well that I've missed it. Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, that was cool. There was a line as well after when he spoke about John Lennon, which is so accurate as well. So he was assassinated, and when the killer was questioned, you won't know. He famously said he just basically did it for attention. And Ren has just said here with an image of a snake, well, what does that tell us about the good of intentions? I like that line. I agree. What does it say?
Troubles and thoughts stay darker than a Rukai master plan. Sharper than glass shards, splinter and cinnamon. Iron could kill a man. He makes money when the music lands. Expand, pay me my cheese, rain down parmesans. Followed by seven whole sins for a self-made Armageddon. Sin 1, pride makes a man kill a man for his ego to survive. Sin 2, lust makes the grass look greener, crucifies trust. Sin.
That's the second time that Ren has referenced this line, isn't it? The grass isn't always greener. The lyric that he said before, do you want to be me? Well, the grass isn't greener. I thought that would have been a bit of a no-brainer. That would have been a reference to envy. Do not covet thine neighbor's belongings, whatever. But he's used it as a reference to lust. Yeah, I never thought about it that way. Carry on.
To survive. Sin 2, lost makes the grass look greener. Crucifies trust. Sin 3, gluttony. Humans consume and consume. Planet Earth gets a frontal lobotomy. 4, sloth, rinse and repeat. Reruns, repeat, time lost. Sin 5, envy. That's when one man's win is another man's frenzy. Sin 6, wrath, rage, vengeance, killers, psychopath. Sin 7, greed.
Like that.
Greed plants a seed that will destroy us all if we succumb to greed. If we take what we need and take more than we need, then our oceans will bleed. Still we feed and we feed and we sleep and repeat. Then we exile the shepherds and follow the sheep. We inherit the meat. We inherit this world that we breathe and we beat. We inherit this vanity, so because of creeds. Inherit the liars, the murderous thieves. One sin for every one day of the week.
Oh! I'm not going to play it again. Don't play it again. Let's get rid of that ad. I'm not very technical. Okay.
After maturing for 18 months here in Italy, this incredible M&S Parmesan is going straight into my...
I can't watch that yet. No. I'm having a technical error here. Sorry, guys. Okay. So the first 3/4 maybe of this song, we've got Ren discussing his pain, the pain in relation to his body and mind, maybe so. But in that last quarter of the song, we've got the reference to the 7 deadly sins. I nearly forgot all about them. It's called 7 Sins. And that's cool. So, like I said, this song, as it goes on, I feel like it's very much evolving musically, and about the subject of the song is evolving. Whereas it obviously is still tied together, but the focus of the song does shift to becoming the 7 sins, which I like that. That's cool. So my understanding of that, how I'm seeing this song, is that the first 3/4 of the song is more to do with Ren's pain of the body and the mind. But as the song progresses, it starts to talk about the 7 sins, and we're then talking about the sickness and the pain, maybe, of the soul or in society. So it becomes bigger. That's my understanding of this song, anyway. The big theme running through this song, obviously, besides Ren trying to paint a very vivid picture of what his pain felt like over the years. But the other theme running through this song, I don't know if anyone else agrees with this, is very much a crisis of faith. Anyone else pick up on that? I'm starting to feel like, and why wouldn't you? It's very tragic to have to live such a significant amount of your adult life bound to a room, unable to live your life normally and unable to enjoy yourself as you would have before you became unwell. And I'm sure under those circumstances, you would very much start to have a crisis of faith. And I imagine that's where the 7 sins start to become very, very relevant. So I'd imagine you would start maybe feeling quite angry. So I suppose that's wrath. And it must make you quite angry after a while to think there's so many people that are going about their lives as normal, but why do I not get to enjoy that? Why am I in here? Why am I bedbound? with pain. And I suppose that would make you envious as well. Even though, ironically, I suppose the line, wanna be me, grass isn't greener. I can see the irony in that. So I imagine at that, at the height of Ren's symptoms, healthier people start to look like they've got a much better life. So would you start to covet that? Would you start to be very envious of their health, basically? Which is very, very sad. I don't know about lust. I mean, maybe you'd crave intimacy. Just trying to think of the other sins. What are the other sins? Pride. Can't relate that too much to it at the moment. Just a thought. That's how I'm starting to see the relevance of the seven sins in relation to, chronic illness and pain. There was a point in the song, I think it was a lot earlier on actually, when the beginning of every other line started with pain, pain. But there was a delay in the third line, a brief pause, and then a pain. I thought that was quite clever. That had quite a lot of impact actually. It really adds meaning to the word. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I thought I liked that touch. I loved the flow of the song. I thought it flowed really, really well. There is a very contagious beat to this song, and I want to bop along to it. But at the same time, I'm listening to the lyrics, and I'm feeling conflicted. And I know I've said this in a few of Ren's other songs, but the beat and it's so good, and the rhythm. But you don't want to cheerfully bop along to it because of the nature of what the song's about, and you feel very conflicted. I always used to think that Ren's message was very political as well, money game and such. But now I'm actually starting to think that Ren's messages to all of us listeners, it's less political and it's actually more from a humanitarian perspective. But let's not challenge the status quo for anarchy's sake. Let's do it to better the world for everyone, and let's make everyone's lives better. Just because that's what we should be doing. And that's a beautiful message. That's a lovely message. I like that. In the last few lines where he's singing about greed in particular, I'm getting very much like money game vibes back from there as well. It's the same kind of message. But yeah, I did think that was quite a political, rebellious message. Actually, I think it's from a humanitarian perspective. It's for love's sake. And that's very nice, actually. I can't think off the top of my head of anything else that I was wanting to discuss throughout the song. I think I've talked it to death pretty much like I normally do with most of Ren's songs that have very inspiring lyrics. So how did you guys interpret this song? Let me know in the comments if I've missed any glaringly obvious things that have just gone woo over my head. Let me know. This is a very meaningful song, I think. Another one where the lyrics are so clever, the wordplay is so clever, and it's so tempting. It's too tempting to just delve into the lyrics to find hidden meanings and messages that aren't as obvious when you first hear them, maybe. But that's my connection to Ren. I like his poetry that I see and find in all of his lyrics. It's beautiful. And yes, thank you for recommending this song, guys. It's been an awesome song to listen to. Very, very unbelievably sad that Ren had to go through this experience. But I feel he's written some profound lyrics out of it, and he can truly connect to people on that level because of it. So, maybe this is the good that comes out of all of that suffering. But yeah, if you haven't heard enough of Ren, please, please, please go and have a listen, search him up on YouTube, look on his Instagram, listen to more of his music. I know I am. He's amazing, an amazing independent artist. Yes, and also, guys, thank you for all the likes and the subscribing. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. Much love. And I'll check you in the next video.